We're going to try this again. See if it works. Yes, we're live. I'm Pat. You are.
I'm Will.
You are.
I'm Jeffrey.
You are.
I'm Ryan.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's been a while.
It has been.
So this is Coffee Before Bed. Mm-hmm. William, what is Coffee Before Bed? You had an outside perspective on this for a little while.
I had an outside perspective.
You were the audience one night.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I was.
Yeah, weren't you listening to us so that you didn't have to listen to our mother?
Well, that wasn't the only reason.
Oh, you listened live.
I did listen live because I was driving to Oregon.
Is that before or after you actually became a subscriber?
I must. Am I?
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't.
You can't.
I can't audit it.
You can't.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. The last episode, you texted Pat for the link to get to it.
I couldn't.
And he's like, well, that means he's not a subscriber.
I'm not a subscriber. No.
We've been waiting on number 10 for like 6 months, William.
Well, maybe I should try that. But yeah, I was trying to find it while driving and trying to scroll through, and I'm like, it's not coming up. They kept wanting to show the older episodes. I'm like, no. I'm like, just send me a link.
Well, what I think everybody here needs to know is that Dinosaurs ran for 4 seasons.
Okay.
Split the difference.
I thought it was 3. You said it was 5. So
Exactly, yeah.
split the upright.
It's always longer than I think it is. So, yeah, that lasted for 4 seasons. But it could have been one of those shows that has, like, only 3 episodes in the last season because of, like,
Canceled. Like,
issues.
this just ain't working.
Yeah.
You guys are done. Wrap it up.
Just come there, it's like, stop writing scripts.
Like the Dave Chappelle box, just wrap it up.
Yeah, Dinosaurs actually had an actual bona fide ending.
It was on Fox too, wasn't it?
No, it's ABC.
Oh, it was ABC.
right.
Oh, okay.
It did seem like a Fox show.
It did seem like a Fox show. It seemed like it came on right before or after Married with Children.
Well, yeah, on the other channel, though.
Oh.
Yeah, it was on a different channel. Yeah, apparently.
Well, Dinosaurs was eventually part of the TGIF lineup.
Okay.
Was it really?
It wasn't always, but it started on its own and then eventually got cooked over there with... trying to remember what it was on with at the time. It
What
was
the
at,
fuck
like,
else was on TGIF?
just the 10 of us.
Family Matters.
Perfect Strangers was
Perfect
there for a while.
Strangers,
Family
yeah.
Matters. Full House was.
Full House.
Full House
Step
is
by
actually what I was
Step.
thinking. I don't know if Family Matters was. Yeah, Step
Yeah,
by
Family
Step.
Matters was.
Was it?
Yeah.
I remember watching Full House, like, after it had been syndicated. And it was on, like, every day, like, in the morning before you had to walk to school.
Oh,
Stupid,
right.
It was like,
right.
Wow, it's really early in the morning?
It's way early. Well,
Yeah.
sometimes, like, just depending on, like, what, like,
I just,
what was where in the season, or whether or not we had fucking cable. So, because we didn't always have that, we didn't always have cartoons.
I just like the concept that there was at one point where like Friday night was the night to sit and watch network television.
Well, that was like date night.
Yeah.
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 Gonna have some fun. TGIF. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's... shit, I forgot. Growing Pains was in there for a little bit, too.
Oh, yeah.
I do remember
Mike
Growing
Seaver.
Pains. Mike Seaver.
Yeah, it's funny
It's
because...
the one with Michael Gross, right?
No, that's
That's,
Family Ties. Yeah.
I'm thinking the other one with Alan Thicke, right?
That's growing.
That's
Growing
Growing
Pains,
Pains.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's Growing Pains.
Tracy Gold,
That's right.
Kirk Cameron.
Oh, yeah.
Leonardo
What
DiCaprio.
happened to him?
Kirk Cameron?
He's on
He's
Fox News
hyper
every day.
rich.
Yeah.
Or rich.
Religious.
Hyper
He
religious.
makes Christian movies, and that
Oh.
dude makes bank.
He
Yeah.
makes the Hallmark money, huh?
Well,
Oh, he makes more than the Hallmark money.
well, when you're the only guy making Christian movies, you don't have to sell that many. So, yeah.
Yeah, you only have to advertise them in one place. So, yeah. I guess I hadn't heard that name in so long. I hadn't really thought about him.
No, man, it's just that's where Leonardo DiCaprio got his start, too.
But he wasn't in that many other shows, if I recall.
Oh, my God. He was a little kid in that.
He was a little kid.
Oh, I forgot about that.
They find him on the street or something.
Yeah,
that's
he was
right.
like
Right. That's what
he was like a homeless kid.
That's when you know
and
the
he just
show's
took him
getting
in.
stale. Stuff like that.
People.
Like random dude throats throwing in. Like, ooh.
We're taking a
Maybe it's time to dinosaur this thing. Yeah.
run off the cliff.
Yeah, but at least Dinosaurs was all dinosaurs, right? Like
Right.
that was like conceptual continuity. They're not like
There were people. later.
Yeah, they
The
were
cave
always
people.
the butt of the joke, though.
They were always
it was
the butt of the joke.
purpose
Yeah, they
was
were
to
like
say-
pets.
Yeah.
No, they were more like dingoes.
I do not remember this show at all.
I think
I only
okay.
just remember little bits of it. I don't know how much I actually watched it.
I liked it. I mean, I was, to be fair, I was also just more in love with the puppets. I thought they looked
looked
fantastic.
God, they're really good for the time.
Yeah. They fucking blew Fraggle Rock out of the water.
Oh yeah.
I used to watch that until,
Still watch Fraggle Rock a lot more.
well, we watched it until the cable got cut. So, because that was HBO.
Yeah, true.
That's right.
That's
Oh yeah, that's when I stopped. Like, yeah, my parents got divorced, and that was it for that. Went the man to
That's not how this remembered. Oh man, that's one of those was like, oh shoot, what was I watching? After Ted died, like,
wasn't that bad. It's just we couldn't afford HBO anymore.
well, eventually Fraggle Rock got kicked over to other networks. They eventually picked it up, and it would show
Way
on-
later.
Saturday morning.
Oh yeah, way
Way
later.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I recall, it was actually on USA at the tail end.
Say,
That surprised me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. There was like two shows.
Oh, yeah,
at the
I
tail
think you're
end of
right.
Cartoon Express. Fraggle Rock was one of them, and the other one was.
Are you talking about live action shows?
Yes, it had these buzzards in it. I can't remember.
They were live action buzzards.
Yeah,
Like Puppet Buzzard?
they were puppets. Yeah.
Did this show have like clips in it? Would they show
Yes.
actual like cartoon clips
Yes.
in this? Okay, I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Man, I have no idea what
I
you're
think
talking
he was
about now.
Canadian, so but I'm not sure.
sounds
Yeah.
This reeks of back
This
bacon. I got
reeks
it.
of-
Yeah,
Yeah,
Maple syrup and bacon and Tim Hortons.
yeah, it's important. Every third clip is the cat got away or whatever.
yeah.
Cat came back the very next day.
Yeah.
Holy shit, though. You know what I turned on? Like, and I don't remember what it is. It was on my Fire Stick, and I saw it, and it was Danger Mouse.
Oh,
Yeah. I watched it a lot when I was a kid, and I have to admit, I didn't realize he was British.
Completely British.
Yeah.
Yes.
Danger Mouse is
Great.
British.
Very British.
And if you watch
Like,
it now,
exceptionally British.
if you watch it now,
to the
it's-
point now, I
yeah.
struggle understanding what the hell he's saying sometimes.
Oh, his accent, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it was British, but
I thought he was fighting for Empire or something.
no, okay.
He's
So
fighting
that,
for Queen and Country.
Okay.
yeah,
You know, but I mean, he had like Basil Expedition, and you know, I mean, his little
I do remember
Poindexter,
that.
his little Poindexter like
Wasn't it like a
mouse
hamster?
buddy who
Yeah.
wanted to, or hamster buddy who wants to be just like him. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad.
okay. So what wasn't bad, but it was I also didn't know it was British at the time was Count Duckula, and
Count Duckula?
Count Duckula.
I don't remember that. I remember Darkwing.
Darkwing Duck.
Count Duckula was on Nickelodeon. Okay, and if you heard the theme song, you'd know it. He was resurrected by this weird butler and his nanny.
Is this a cartoon?
And they messed up the formula, so he didn't want to drink blood. He was a vegetarian.
I do remember this.
I never remember
Yeah,
that.
I do,
Not remember
I
this
do
at
remember
all.
this. Yeah, they jacked him, so he was a nice vampire. Yeah, I do remember this.
And that show was also
Didn't
incredibly
watch it, but
British.
yes, I do remember the character.
Yep.
Oh crap!
It looked
I do
like
remember
Disney,
that
but it
character.
wasn't.
Yeah.
That's how I know. Very, very British. Yeah.
I guess the only other British
Wow.
cartoons I remember for this is like Paddington Bear would come on every
Oh,
now
yeah.
and then. That was from
Yeah.
the 70s.
That one was
Or
really
even
dry.
earlier.
It might have been from the 80s, like the early 80s.
It might have been.
surprised
You see it.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that was distinctly British. I mean, this is all way before Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, that was never for me. Yeah.
Gosh.
Oh, it's
Seen
model
it.
trains, man. I
I've
love
seen
it.
That's fucking
Now it's all
great.
CGI. It kind of sucks. It was like, no, man. Okay,
that is
let's
kinda
go, like
sad.
really, really out of scale fire that's actually fire.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Like, there's a few things that stood out in there that were clearly not from here, or not like we were not the original intended argument, our audience. Like, I remember watching, because again, Nickelodeon would show some things where, like, the Star Trek animated series.
Oh, I remember that. That was weird.
I never watched it.
It looked.
What?
It was
There's an
uncanny.
animated Star Trek series?
Yeah, it looked
was.
like the guys who drawn Scooby Doo had done it.
Yeah,
The original series or Next
original
Generation?
cast. Yeah,
Really?
Cast,
Yeah.
And actually, all the actors were in it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So they did the voices.
yeah.
they did all the voices, and I heard that was Leonard Nimoy who actually insisted on that. So because they approached him first because he had the most distinctive voice,
Sure.
and then he was like, "Well, yeah, I'll do it, but only if I can get everybody else on the cast." And eventually, whoever paid for this, it was probably Hanna-Barbera. I don't know. So they coughed up for the entire Star Wars Star Trek cast.
Which is so it's bizarre because like there's an argument now about whether those things actually count as like canon in the series.
What the cartoons?
Yeah.
How long did they last? How many seasons?
I don't think it was that much.
something
Yeah,
like that.
Like the same as the original.
Well,
you doubled the length of the series.
because that's the thing, right? Was the original series? It's only like a couple of years, right? They have the animated series, and then they wrote a bunch of scripts for Phase 2, but that never came out. So they rolled those into the next generation, and so a lot of the really weird
really?
episodes in the first series, the first
Were
seasons.
takes from the original series.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be set a few years after the original series.
Boy, that explains some of the schizophrenicness of their episodes.
Very much so. Like, evidently,
Okay.
that, like, nobody remembers this, but evidently, where the invaders of the Federation were a collection of bugs.
Oh god, that was awful.
You go, yeah, you would know it. And the
Yeah,
head
it was
blows
so
up.
fucking
But
bad.
evidently, that's like a Phase 2 script. And that's why it
All right,
feels
so
so
good.
fucking out of nowhere.
No, it feels so bad. I mean, it was so bad, but then it feels really out of fucking place.
But then it makes sense because this was like you're writing something else.
No, I mean, it looked like you took somebody else's script and like, let's just throw the same characters in on this. And like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Like the bugs took over Starfleet. Oh, all right.
So, like those weird, like, claymation
Claymation
sequences.
bugs,
I
yeah.
cannot believe that shit.
That was really bad. That was one of the worst episodes. I don't know if it beats Tabula Rasa or whatever, but it's close.
I don't.
Tabula rasa. What does that mean? Clean
Blank
slate.
slate,
Blank
yeah.
slate. Thank
Wow.
you.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
I don't hate that episode as much as other people do, but it's not good.
boy, I don't like that episode, man. That one was terrible.
I'm lost when it comes to Star Trek. I remember like
Yeah, this is the one where Dr. Crusher like goes
that's
back
used
to her
everywhere.
family's
That's
funeral. or
half
my
the
grandma's
cartoons you've seen
funeral.
have use that as a title.
Yeah, sorry.
it's all right. Yeah.
Goes back to her like grandma's funeral or something, and then falls in love with the same ghost spirit that
Dr. Crusher did that?
Yeah.
that's powered by the candle.
Oh shit, I do remember that.
Yeah, it's
you
really
do.
bad.
It's,
Yeah.
it's pretty bad, but I mean, you know, I have my own personal issues, like the episode where they're going to execute Wesley Crusher for falling in the flowers.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
you're laughing. That
Yeah.
one. The problem is there's nothing subtle about it.
No.
I'm pretty.
Actually, I was kind of okay with that part of it. Like, if they tried to make that subtle, it'd be like, guys, stop. Don't make it subtle. I was actually impressed with, like, cool, you didn't make it subtle. It's just overt.
All right. That's fine.
I mean, if you're going to make a Star Trek porno, make the fucking
Okay.
porno.
All right. Fine. All right. Yeah, okay. I see your argument. Fine. And of course, they go into that transitory period between the 80s and 90s where they just can't decide what the future is going to look
Right.
like. So all those people on the planet are wearing like sleeveless half shirts, like these are metal guys that just went to like a Maiden concert, but there's no logos on their white ass
Right.
shirts, and
They're wearing white shirts?
it's so
Oh, yeah, it's all
bizarre,
white.
man, and it's.
Very revealing, hypersexual and friendly, yet for some reason they'll put you to death if you break a law.
And it's that last part of the 80s into the 90s where all the women have that like permed hair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Soul
yeah,
glow going on.
yeah.
Even all white people, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, they were all white.
Yeah, so they all have that hair.
Yeah, Dr. Crusher in particular. I remember.
No,
Well,
we're talking
Troy's
about
was
the people on
weird,
the planet.
But yeah, Troy's hair was absolutely
Troy,
bad.
oh,
He had
yeah.
a wave going on. So the
Well, the
crest-
hair was just like
curly,
so
big,
curly
yeah.
and poofy, and then they actually said like, "Yo, man, like people straighten this out now."
They
And-
said that?
No, well, no, they just start doing it.
Yeah.
Eventually, they just start doing it. They actually have like normal people hair.
That is kind of ironic, though. You think about all the stuff they took, like clothes, sets, everything to make it look different, except hairstyles. They kept like 80s hairstyles in.
They always do. Yeah, of course.
And it's like nobody thought, like, maybe we should get rid of that.
It's so bizarre. Yeah,
People would
I know.
call it out as being weird at the time. Like, oh man, those people have fucked up hair.
But you know, that's true. There's a relatability to a show. Because, like, if you watch sci-fi now, they actually do switch the hair up to make it look like, and you don't relate to them as well. You're like, I don't have my hair look like
Like a
that. It looks
cyberpunk
stupid.
hair.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, you either do it normal, right,
Right.
or you do it like future. But when you do it future, that just means you're fucking it up.
You're taking a stab in the dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because if you think about it, if how bizarre would it have been if you're watching, 87, I think is when it came out, Star Trek: The Next
Yeah.
Generation.
Yeah.
If in 87, what the people on the ship looked like were they all had undercuts, like half their head was shaved, but the hair is long on top
Oh,
of it.
it wouldn't last.
You'd be like, this looks
Yeah,
weird.
you couldn't relate to that.
Yeah.
It would be
But-
awkward.
Yeah, every show that you watch now has somebody who's
Has that like shaved one side or something going on?
and when they have that, it means they like the same sex.
It's
that what they
heavily
mean?
insinuated, yeah.
Because
Because if you have an undercut, obviously you're hiding something.
absolutely,
Right.
yeah,
But not, you're hiding it kind of out. in the
Yeah.
open. Yeah.
exactly. You have to.
It took a weird tangent.
It did take a weird
Yeah,
tangent.
got a little
That's what
uncomfortable.
show is weird tangents.
What show?
Too.
You never actually had Will describe what it is.
Oh, yeah, we totally interrupted.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what was even the topic then?
Tell us what the show is because you're an outside listener.
The show is kind of picking something, going with it until it changes, and just keep going.
There you go. You want to
Yeah.
go back to Disney's dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Stream
don't
of consciousness.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm out. I haven't watched television now in years. So like, you and I were talking about movies, like the 5-6 blockbusters summer movies that you always had to go tell your friends about in the fall.
Oh yeah,
Now that's gone.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
culturally, that's just not a thing anymore.
Boy, that's dead, right?
Yeah,
That is weird.
TV's kind of the same way, man. So,
No, TV is very much that too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dead.
What?
I'm looking forward to movies.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you're weird.
it's not the same, man. Which ones are you looking forward to? Are you looking at Jurassic World?
No.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Don't not Jurassic. Jesus Christ.
Whatever else is coming out is cool, I'm sure, but
So you just go for the sake of
Now,
extra.
granted, that Jurassic World thing and is bringing back like Laura Dern and
Sam Neill.
Sam Neill and like, but I assume they'll still royally fuck that thing
Of
up.
course they will, and they're doing it in like a 3-hour block now.
Oh, it's 3 hours?
It's something like that, man. It's
Jesus.
fucking huge.
Well, at least you're getting, dinosaurs for 3 hours.
I don't think you're going to get dinosaurs for all 3 hours, William.
What are they gonna do?
No, they're gonna try to shove story in there on that.
Yeah, it's not going to be like a Jackass video where dinosaurs just eat people.
But the one thing is I was proud of is they put at the commercials like this is for sure the last.
It's
And I was like, right on. Like that's actually a selling point. Like this is the last, straight up, guaranteed.
until we decide
Until
to
it's
catch another
not.
paycheck.
Until like 5 years from now, and then
Yeah, that's true. I bet.
Christopher Nolan will I got a revamp on it. We got to make the dinosaurs more dark.
No, you're right. I've seen like Kiss's farewell tour like 5 times.
Right?
Yeah, I gotcha.
It's the going out of business sale thing. Yeah.
You didn't go out of business. You just moved.
Yeah. Well, I went out of business over there
That's true.
because I wanted a grand opening over here.
Did you want to do the topic that I've been curious about?
Okay, you
your
want to talk
topic?
about Twitter, right?
I don't know enough about it, but I would love to hear more about it. Because I did not know some of the stuff you were bringing up earlier, so.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that all day long.
Okay, so what do you want me to do? Just give you a brief introduction of the events as they happen, and you guys can correct me if there's anything else new or different. All right. So, well, this is the part you don't know. So, all right. So, Elon Musk, first he buys 9.2% of Twitter, becomes the biggest shareholder, right? So, they try to placate him and they say, we'll put you on the board. The stipulation is that you cannot buy more than 15% of this company.
Right? That's a board rule already. You can only have like 14.98.
Right. So he says, okay. Now, the behind the scenes there is basically like they say, we're putting you on the board, but we're not going to let you really institute and dictate to us what happens. So he says, fuck you. Okay. I'm not on your board. Okay. Does this all publicly over Twitter, posts the messages that have been going back and forth. Within 5 days, makes an offer to buy the entirety of the company for 40-something billion dollars.
54.2 billion.
Well, 54.2 is the stock price.
54 54.2 is the stock.
That's the stock price.
Each stock at 54.2 because it's a joke on 420.
There you go. Yeah.
Wait a minute, what?
Yep.
He wanted to make a joke on 420, so he offered 54.20.
2-0. Yeah.
That's why he offered it, because it has 420 in his joke.
As he always
Oh my
does.
God, really?
Yeah,
Which is 40% over the actual Twitter price.
because the Twitter price was at like 44 at the time.
So here's where the stuff, the other stuff comes in is their advisors are, I can't remember which bank it is, but they're the ones that say you should sell if the stock price is 30.
Who should? The Twitter holder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Twitter decides that they are refusing to subject this to a stockholder vote.
Oh.
Okay. Which is now going to get Twitter in big trouble. Because if there's a chance that somebody's paying 40% over stock price to acquire this, and you do not ask the stockholders if they want to take the deal, your ass gets in trouble.
Well, not only that, you're violating your fiduciary duty to your stockholders.
There you go. Which also means there's a chance that the entire board gets flushed.
Yeah, but they'll still own substantial chunks. So just because you're on the board, you're still a shareholder in most of those cases.
Correct. But as you're not part of the board anymore, those decisions that they're making right now, if they get flushed from the board, would be made by other people.
Yeah.
There's also a problem here with lawsuits as resulting of this, which are going to come if they decide not to sell. It's still up in the air. They are taking...
No, they voted on that today. Did you see
The
that?
shareholders actually voted? Or the board?
board
The board
actually-
voted to not
board
sell.
voted to not sell, and the instituted poison pill clause.
Yeah,
So,
the institute
That
poison pill.
actually does not mean that they have not decided not to sell.
that's true. So, but it's a pretty strong.
Well, and
statement.
actually,
So-
those poison pills are also to give them more time. That
It is.
generally stick poison pills in to give more time.
yeah,
But that's also problematic. And now there's also the possibility
yeah,
that
but that's common, man. They do that all the time.
it is,
Yeah.
but there's also a possibility that instead of like a full takeover, it's a question of how much are there people that are willing to sell so that he doesn't have to buy the whole thing.
If he bought the whole thing, would he own all the shares, or is he just
You
like?
could take it private.
Yeah.
You can take it private, and then you're allowed up to like 2,000 shareholders in a private company, so you can actually distribute shares as a private owner.
Huh.
But there's rules about how much you still have to retain as ownership.
I don't know those specific rules, those haven't been coming out. But basically, what I can tell you is Twitter in its current state is butt fucked.
Yeah, because what was it? Who comes out with the? Who came out with the assessment? It was a organization comes out with
yeah.
the assessment who found out this Twitter is already overvalued and it has no growth potential because it keeps missing its targets, and it's obvious why.
That's why the sale price was set at 30. They said
Yeah.
you should take this if it sells at 30.
Yeah, because it won't go any higher in it. And then Elon's got that in his back pocket because he can go turn around and sell his entire volume of shares and tank the price of the stock.
That's the other part. It's because now he has justification to
if he
say
decides to divest from it and flush his shares into the market, and the stock price will just
Yeah,
go
it'll
down.
kill it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
and he has it's not
wow.
like they can jump on him and say like, why'd you do this? Are you just dumping? It's like, no, they turned down 40% over stock price, which means they're bad business, and so I dumped it.
And generally, when that happens, when a hostile takeover fails and they liquidate their shares and drop the stock takes years to come back.
Yeah.
So this
Don't
is
invest in Twitter.
Twitter at this point, unless it's bought by Elon, is kind of done as a business.
Yeah.
Well, if it gets bought by Elon, you'll get cashed out anyway. So
No, but if it's bought by Elon, he'll cash out. But he can go public after a while later. He can do another IPO on it, and then you buy into it, depending on where it's at. But it's
but he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't lose control again. He's made it very clear that he's never going to run a publicly funded company again.
I don't blame the guy.
I don't either, man. So, you know.
I mean, when you have that much money, when you can actually post like $40 billion to buy something,
Yeah.
yeah.
I did see someone had an interesting question whether or not he actually had the cash to be able to do that.
what they are assuming is
Does he?
No,
From
he
where?
doesn't.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't have
They
the
showed his
cash.
sales.
What you're assuming? What's that?
They showed his sales
Sales of what?
of his basically he had to sell stock
Yeah.
to have cash on hand.
No, but he couldn't sell too much. He wouldn't want to lose too much control. But what he can do and he's allowed to do is that's actually like it's basically a HELOC against your stock. So
So
you
he
can
would put up
borrow.
his-
You can borrow loan against my stock options in Tesla.
Got it.
And then use that
That's
and
what I
pay it
thought.
back.
Yeah. I don't think he'd have any problem
So
finding.
that way he doesn't have to
financing that
divest
deal.
himself from.
Like, oh, I'm sorry, I got 40% of Tesla as fucking collateral. Yeah, I'll make that loan.
Yeah. There's not a bank on the planet like, yeah, we got.
Yeah, that's what I'm sitting there looking at in my mail every month.
Yeah, 'cause if this goes bad, I own
and if it goes
Tesla.
bad, I get a chunk of Tesla. It's like, oh, he's at least late by a day.
And so ultimately, this is the question of what he's doing. And I understand that you've had your issues with this on a financial level, and I certainly understand that. But
Who? What?
Mr. Patrick over here has problems with essentially what he's done to the market as a result. However, using this as a response to the question of don't like it, open your own platform, we own this, we make the rules. Doing this is just the kind of middle finger that I think that big tech deserves.
Yeah, but it's not the one that. I mean, you're talking about the weakest bird on a branch, man.
Low hanging fruit.
This is way low hanging fruit.
It's not.
I've held to it for at least a year now that Twitter's on the way out. So
No, Twitter's become an echo chamber that's not gaining any money, and it's actively suppressing its own customers.
it is, and I don't know how it makes revenue. So I've tried
It
to
doesn't.
figure
It
that
doesn't
out.
either.
Yeah.
Elon Musk has specifically said that. Like, I don't know how you guys are. You don't charge for the service. B,
Right.
you don't have advertising.
Yeah.
Well, they do, but the advertising sucks.
But
Yeah.
the advertising, but it's not the same kind of advertising.
It's
as
promotion.
Like, yeah.
It's not the same. It's not the cash cow that Facebook has stumbled onto or Google has stumbled
But
onto in
ever
terms of
since
ad
Twitter was
delivery.
started, financial analysts said, "I don't know how you make money
Yes.
on this."
Yeah. And so basically, it's always been an inflated stock based upon the promise of future earnings that have never been realized.
Well, and not only that, it's the people who use it. You have the glitterati and
And the journalists.
and the journalists and the progressive elite. That's their world.
That's the problem. That's why it actually, it's not so much the user base there that's really the issue, is breaking up this group, this circle jerk, right? Where essentially, look, I'm just going to put it, here's the problem. This is where the creative influencers all get together. This is how you get the fucking garbage media that we get here when we're talking about, oh, she's got an undercut, she's a lesbian,
Yeah.
right? And because if you actually take that out to regular public people, they say, no, this is dumb. This is where people essentially think that, as we've discussed before, that basically every white person carries a rifle in their car to shoot any trans person that they see
I know
on
where
the
you're going with
street.
this, man. You're being a little hyperbolic with that.
Bullshit.
Yeah, no, I think you are, man. So it really is a small slice of the country that actually pays attention to Twitter.
I'm sorry. Where were you going? Maybe I missed that.
Well, the whole thing here is where you create this environment of basically, if you create this false world within there and you have all the creatives and they're doing it,
Yeah.
okay, what you're doing is you're sort of unjustly influencing those worlds to present this as normal when it is most certainly not.
Yeah, but I still say it's an echo chamber.
No, it is.
Everybody
It's a
knows
group
it's an
think
echo chamber.
Yeah, and
But
so like
they control the means of production on the creative end.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
just on Twitter.
No, the people who are there are the ones that are in charge of the creative end.
Like
Hollywood
What's
and New
there?
York,
What's there?
Yeah, what's
When you say the people who are
what
there.
end?
Los Angeles, New York.
Okay.
Okay, where basically all media generates from.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's basically creating this echo effect where that impacts the media outlet. So when you have people sitting there bitching about like what the fuck happened to movies, why are all of our heroes crap, right?
Right. I think people are rapidly voting with their feet on that one too, man. So, I mean, quite honestly, I think if you have any kind of echo chamber like that over time, it gets sussed out and eventually dies. And so, I mean, you can take a look back at the whole Hearst empire, man. So the thing took 40 years to crash down, but it fucking did, because eventually people were like, well, we know what they're going to fucking say, And I mean, the same thing's true with like your cable news right now. Everybody knows what CNN's going to say. Everybody knows what you're going to hear on Fox or OAN and stuff like that. And so, like, I'm just going to make the argument that their footprint ain't as big as you think.
Well, and see, I would agree with this. I mean, we were talking earlier, like Twitter, like, was it 9% of the people in the United States actually get on Twitter? And what, 80% of those don't even post anything. They just sit and watch the vile crap that streams. I mean, and I do wonder, and I see it in polls. I see it. I mean, CNN just tried to like CNN Plus. I mean,
we got our legs there.
but this is we had
Like,
this
we
world.
left the gas cap off the space shuttle, man.
But we had, but we had this world back when you had network news. We had ABC, NBC, CBS, and Dan Rather. Is a bad example because he's the father of fake news. But I mean, like Ted Koppel and Tom Brokaw, and they were fighting over 60 million viewers, 50 million viewers.
It's like NFL size crowds.
Yeah, and you can argue that it was a trapped audience. Like, you only had three choices, so you're not going anywhere else. And now you have a craptastrophe of choices. But when you still look at the big three,
Subtitle.
you look at craptastrophe. But you have CNN, Fox, and MSNBC. You take your three big cable networks. These people fight over 1 and 2 million and 3 million viewers. That's it.
Yeah.
They I think Fox wins it out. Like, let's look at like their bigs, like Tucker, Maddow, and then CNN's probably got, God, who the hell would be the top for CNN?
Jake Tapper.
Tapper would be a top for CNN. Tapper is like fighting for 1.5 million. Maddow and Tucker fight between 3 million.
Tucker's got 3. Maddow has significantly less. She is the highest on there.
Oh, no. Maddow and Tucker back and forth. Like, Tucker gets about 4 now. Maddow hits around 3.
I thought Tucker had Maddow beat.
No, not by a lot. Guaranteed not by a lot. Just barely. And actually,
Hannity
Maddow beats him every now.
No,
Hannity's down. Hannity gets beat by Maddow all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But again, we're talking about being beat by 1%. A 0.1% of the population.
Yeah. Everybody's over the
Like, and so we're everybody freaks out about, can you believe what CNN said? And it's like, yeah, but CNN only 700,000 people watched it. Like, that's nothing. Like, QVC has much better ratings than any of these people do. And so the question I have kind of going with Pat is, I do see, like, do we ascribe way too much cultural influence to entities that draw the attention of less than 10% of the populace?
I think it's true with Twitter, so I don't think it's true with Facebook. I think Facebook's a fucking
Facebook's different. I don't want to include Facebook in that, because Facebook's got 4 billion subscribers.
Yeah.
I don't think Facebook's nearly the problem that people say it is. I mean, Facebook's trash.
Well, do you?
But social media is trash.
What does Musk want to do with Twitter if he owns it?
He wants to stop the censoring.
Yeah.
So just make it a completely open platform.
More open platform.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I'd be I'd be surprised if it doesn't turn into a shit show because we've seen a lot of people try and do that. And that's what
Oh, now hold on. Hold on.
happens. So,
A lot of
how
us.
long will it take before there's porn on there?
There's already porn on there.
Is there?
Twitter's inundated with porn.
Really? Like
Twitter's
actual,
got
like
porn?
Tons of it.
No.
Like actual, like bare-chested porn.
You can go further than that.
Really?
Yeah, that's not a restriction.
Why is that
That's
not
not a
there?
restriction.
Porn is not a restriction on Twitter.
No, look, here, I can break this down for you, okay? So, I can tell you how that followed. There used to be this place called Tumblr.
Yeah, I know Tumblr.
Okay. Tumblr fell apart. Why?
Don't know.
Okay. Tumblr was purchased by Yahoo.
Oh, there's your answer.
You're not wrong.
Well, you're not wrong. It would have been fine, except for what did Tumblr or what did Yahoo do?
I don't know.
Ban porn.
Oh, no way. Are you serious?
Yeah. Tumblr disappeared.
Yeah.
So the Tumblrinas, okay, as they're so colorfully known, broke off into a couple of different groups. Where did they go? Well, a large group became the insufferable amount of dickheads on Reddit. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And if you want to talk about circle jerks and people whose heads are way too big for the shit they do, okay, Reddit moderators are probably the most insufferable people on this planet.
I
Okay.
put Discord server moderators up there. Pretty
Well,
good, too.
at least
I don't know Discord.
at least Discord
Reddit.
people are typically relegated to the small universes that they're in, right?
that is true.
So, you know, when you're talking about fucking moderating goddamn Amaranth's Discord server, okay, these people don't think that they're, you know, the president of Earth. Whereas the
No.
people on Reddit,
They do. Some of them do.
these unpaid janitors think that they are so goddamn special, okay?
So they're like Wikipedia editors.
Don't.
I do.
Wikipedia, TV tropes, Snopes. Okay.
Snopes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snopes hasn't been a actual, you know, factual site for years.
No, Snopes is
And then-
bullshit. And everybody knows it.
And then a lot of the porn people went to Twitter, right?
So they actually post porn on
Wait, so
Twitter.
you can
tweet
watch
out
porn on Twitter?
yes.
Really?
Yes. If
You have to have like special access to it or something?
no,
There's no age restriction or anything?
like you can block stuff on your profile so that you don't see certain things.
Oh, so is that like a generic setting? And like when you first sign up, it says "Don't show me porn," and you have to like literally go in there and opt into the porn.
It's no, you're automatically you opt out of like it's like questionable material or something like that.
But
Things.
Do you opt out or do you have to opt in?
No, you're automatically in. You opt out.
Oh, no shit.
Oh, really?
Yes, because
I never saw any porn on
the thing is,
That's rethinking Twitter.
I have to rethink this.
okay, this is one of the big things that they're talking about with Twitter being a problem is that one of the arguments right now is that one of the reasons that Twitter doesn't want to sell is because they'd have to release exactly what their setup is.
To who? Just to Musk, right?
Does Musk ever not talk?
Yeah, but
there
it would be
might
his
have to be
company,
some
so I mean, if they're going to take the
disclosure
check, fuck it.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
but this
Well, as a shareholder, yeah.
Yeah, fuck
Like, I don't
that.
give a fuck.
so
I'm not on the board. I'm not responsible for that shit.
the way that Twitter works is they have a lot of subcategories for people that post there. Okay? So like I told you, like I've gone into shadow ban territory, right? Where
Really?
and you know what? It's pretty mild compared to what a lot of people get away with. Okay? Look, I'm gonna put this to you. Any blue check mark can sit there and say, I wish Donald Trump was dead.
Yeah.
Okay? And they're gonna skate. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Say the same thing about Biden or anybody on the left, you're getting banned.
Well, yeah.
That's a promise. Even if you just say, like, I wish Joe Biden caught COVID, you're going to catch a ban.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? I'm telling you that. Look, I'm not fucking with you.
No, I know you're not.
And so, once you do that, they're going to throw you into shadow ban territory where only people that are your followers can see what you post.
Right.
Or they're going to throw you in the category of, when you look at a tweet, you have the stuff up front. Then there's a bottom part that says, show additional replies that may contain offensive content.
Oh, okay.
They'll throw you in the offensive content category, you know, like that. And if you show things like porn, what they'll do is they'll categorize you in a group where it's like, this has this kind of content, which is also where they put a lot of like, oh, this guy's a fucking COVID-19 conspiracy theorist. They put you in the same category.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that they're like, Twitter has to reveal their bullshit algorithms and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk like they don't want to say what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Because it's so ridiculously biased.
And you know Musk wants to actually show that. Too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. From what I've heard about the Twitter algorithm, there's nothing complicated about it. So, whereas the Google one and the Facebook ones are so fucking complicated that even their engineers don't know how they work.
Well, I can tell you how the Twitter one works.
How does it work?
Well, basically, just think about this, is when you try to report somebody on Twitter.
Well, say I want to tweet something.
No. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
There's
my concern of the algorithm is who gets to see my shit. Is that where you're going?
Well, I'm telling you how it works. Is a lot of this is going to go to actual people to make decisions on. Right? Is if Will and I are having a discussion, okay, and Will says something, and my goons, okay, don't like what he says, they hit the report button. Okay. And it creates this list of, well, what's offensive?
Yeah.
Okay. And you go down there and they check these things. And if you fill these boxes, the person that has to review that shit has to chuck you in a category. They either have to clear it, okay, or they have to say this person is this.
Okay.
And so a lot of this algorithm is just following mass flaggings because a lot of like the reports, they don't get enough. They don't care.
Yeah, so there's not an actual algorithm behind it.
There is, but it's also fed by what the system dictates. Because a lot of people have tried around and they're like, well, so what are ways to get off this thing, right? How do you change how your shit appears? That's why they've said like, well, number one, stop posting for a while.
Okay. But that's just to like
still need that
alleviate
user
the
input,
ban
though.
pipeline, right? It's not necessarily. Is there an algorithm that actually drives who sees your tweets?
Right.
In there. So if I tweet something out, even if it's innocuous, so what drives who gets to see my? Is it just a function of who's following me?
Well, a lot of that is going to be based off of the algorithm is going to take into effect like, what have you been banned and what have you been banned for?
Okay, so I've never been banned. What would it do? How would it?
You're just regular shit. You're just a dude. You're
Well,
regular,
I'm a regular nobody. So, but like, say I don't have a blue check mark. Does that affect who sees my shit?
Yeah.
Okay, so say I do have a blue check mark. Does that mean that people without blue check marks don't see my shit?
No, they'll see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Blue check marks have a free reign to say anything to anyone.
But it's like, but I mean, the question is on who sees what. Because like TikTok, the reason why TikTok's so successful is their algorithm is actually like perfect.
TikTok's fucking dangerous, man.
TikTok's exceptionally good.
They're the ones that make the most money too.
Yeah, I know.
But they have the most perfect algorithm. Their algorithm is really good at picking out what people will want to find as viral and send shit that wasn't viral to be viral. I mean, TikTok, the reason TikTok's so successful is their algorithm is wonderful. I don't know anything about the Facebook or, I mean, I've just started using Facebook business.
Oh, right.
For my volunteer group and, post events and do that. So I'm actually going to like, have to use the Meta dashboard and all that.
Oh, it's Meta. That's right.
And it is exceptionally awful. Like, I used to joke that, like Word perfect, not Word perfect, but Word from Microsoft and its autocorrect and auto formatting features. I always say, like, it is proof to me that I'm not worried about artificial intelligence because it's just crap.
Yeah.
And then I go into Facebook, and these are the masters of the universe. These are the most intelligent, computer nerds on the fucking planet working for Facebook and putting this shit together. It is the most god awful, unintuitive interface. It is so clunky and terrible and dumb. And if you need help on it, they change it so much
Yeah.
that if you need help on it, you have to go like find help within your date range of when they fucked with shit.
Oh my God.
So like you're like, okay, this events tab doesn't work. And they're like, okay, are you trying to change an events tab that was between January 17th, like 2019 to like November 17th, 2020? Or are you looking at this because they've changed it so much? It is the most atrocious interface I have ever seen in my life. And I've used WordPress. I'm better at WordPress than I am at Facebook. And WordPress is a joke of a fucking interactive system. Facebook is garbage. And it actually probably gets to the point where there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Putting the interface together, like one group is set on the events, one person set on your calendar, and so they're all trying to mash the shit together. But it is the clunkiest, awfulest, and then again, it adds to me where I'm like, well, I'm not worried about artificial intelligence because if this is what you people put together, it's not.
Yeah,
it's nothing.
It's a way long.
And it's convoluted. It's crap. And I get on Facebook now anyway. And Facebook now is a post for my friend and 3 advertisements and a post for my friend and 3 advertisements. It's atrocious. And that's where I was going with. Like, I think Facebook's bad but at the end of the day, I think it starts going away because it's becoming such garbage.
Yeah.
That it doesn't accomplish anything that you want it to anymore.
Keep in touch with old relatives.
Well, it's like,
Yeah.
just like I said last time, it's like the internet ages in dog years, right?
That's right.
And so Facebook is in its CNN phase
Yeah.
of influence.
Yeah, but I mean, Zuck's got enough, and so I don't necessarily think Facebook, the algorithm, or the product that it offers is necessarily dangerous. It's the way that company's built. All right,
Sure.
so that is a one-man enterprise. I hate such things when they are that big. So, and that one in particular is problematic, especially now. I'm thinking that he's going to jump the shark on the fucking Meta universe or whatever.
I think they already have.
I think so too. I think so many people have looked at it like the funniest one is the guy who's like, in the metaverse, nobody has legs.
Yeah. No, but did you just see recently? So I'll butcher it because I don't know the story quite as well, but it just came out within the last couple of days. So metaverse. So you have, I guess, influencers. Anybody who attributes to it, who provides to the metaverse, they provide, and then Facebook will take half your profits.
What?
You owe half your profits to. So basically, like a TikTok influencer is making money, Facebook will take half that from you.
Oh,
And so that just came up. I haven't read all into it, but something about Meta now is taking like half of every single one of the contributors' money.
yeah. It sounds very much like something Mark Zuckerberg would fucking
Oh God, yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
I'm fairly convinced the guy is a robot. So
Yeah. I've seen his interface. I'm like, no.
Robots are usually
If AI was that good, his interface would be better than what it is.
like they fuck things up, but they fuck them up consistently and like the same way.
right, yeah.
So like when the burgers are bad, all of them are bad. But when they're made by humans, then occasionally like, wow, man, you really hit a home run today. but the machine is gonna fuck it up every single time in the same way.
Yeah, it's just like having an auto.
They can't do contractions. It never will.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I had to relate that back. Yeah. Full circle.
But his mother could. That was the. Remember that?
Yeah. No, his mother could.
Yeah.
But then when he was taken over by somebody else who could use contractions, they knew it wasn't him.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I guess we'll see.
I see what you're saying, though. I do get the concept where somebody, like, there's that much control and power, but at the same time, I see Facebook just falling the fuck apart.
Yeah, I don't actually see Zuck's fortunes going south though, regardless.
Oh no, I don't either.
No.
So, and he's got the one company that came out of Silicon Valley that's structured like basically an iron fortress.
Yeah.
So they'll never get away from him.
Well, and I've read those stories that if you work for Facebook, like trying to get a job somewhere else in Silicon Valley is actually kind of hard. You're kind of stigmatized.
Yeah,
because you
exactly.
work for Facebook.
You're part of Big Blue. Yeah.
And you're not liked here.
No. So
So what leads to the thing is, what is the next big thing? Because you see Twitter is falling apart, Facebook's falling apart. TikTok is not.
TikTok
TikTok will. I think TikTok's will start to fall apart because its inanity is just too much. You can only watch that shit for so long before it does become like I want to eat a bullet.
Well, here's the question: is you take the predecessors? Where's Vine? Where's
Yeah.
Well, look at Reels. I mean, even Reels on Facebook. I mean, if you ever try to look at that shit, it's banal and innate. I mean, you watching like, yeah, thanks for posting that crap.
Well, we can say that you'll want to, take a bullet, but my kids
got a
will
good point.
not.
yeah?
They have no problem having that stuff go for nonstop.
TikTok,
But
I don't let them watch TikTok, but yeah,
but like YouTube Shorts.
YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
But again, no, I mean that's a niche market. I mean, if it's just kids who like flashy, fun stuff on
they're
it,
common.
Yeah, but they're coming up, man.
Because they don't make money.
They will.
So, that's all they got
The
there at some
Disney
point.
theory.
This is what I.
yeah, but eventually,
Yeah.
will they keep up with that? I mean, will they grow out? I mean, basing a product on youth engagement for a consistent period of time is a recipe for disaster.
Unless you're Marlboro.
But here's the thing. What you're talking about?
That's drugs.
No, well,
Drugs is based on that.
you're talking about the changing of expectations for entertainment. This is something that we've seen. This is something we've talked about, right? Children do not go in for traditionally narrative-based entertainment the same way that we were brought up, right? We inherently, whether or not you expected this when you were growing up, was programs have beginning, middle, end. Even if you don't understand 3-act structure, you mentally got it, right? But there is no 3-act structure to watching some dude play Minecraft. There is no 3-act structure to Twitch. There's no 3-act structure to fucking Shorts or TikTok.
Yeah,
and your
Christ.
kids,
I mean, and I would
for hours,
Yeah.
for hours
yeah.
you'll watch it, so that they're
It's like sports.
well,
for
and
them.
you know, and I will elaborate on that because I think that actually applies to adults too. Because one of the problems that I have is streaming shows. So you take something like Peaky Blinders. You guys watch Peaky Blinders?
I've just started.
No.
Okay.
I've been told that I should watch it though.
Well, let's go to Game of Thrones. I mean, the
yeah.
concept. So you start with Game of Thrones, and your first season is your introduction.
Right.
So your intro, and then you have 8 seasons of middle.
And then 3 very episodes at the end.
each episode will try to give you some little kernel of
Yeah.
conclusion, so you feel that satisfaction, so you watch again. But at the end of the show, at the end of the day, and these shows aren't written like they didn't write out 8 seasons and then have a conclusion they're aiming at.
Well, one guy was trying to. He's still working on it.
Still, man. And the odds are he's not ever going to accomplish it.
He ain't getting younger, man.
But the idea
Poor
is,
sinner.
you start the show, you propose a concept, and you start the show. You have the introduction, then you move into the middle, but that's all it is. The rest of it's just middle.
Yeah.
It's just middle, and generally it goes to middle until you get forced to end because they cancel your show, and you have to quickly, hastily put together an end. Which then, of course, everybody who loved the show hates your end because you rushed to the conclusion.
Were you Walking Dead spin
But you
off
don't.
from your fans?
But you have this, and I struggle, and I always laugh because people will laugh with Star Trek: The Next Generation. Was like, I don't like it because they solve complex problems in an hour, and it's like, yeah, but the thing that's great about it is each show has a beginning, middle, and end, and it always starts stress resolution, and it's actually one of the things I can continue to watch that show repeatedly over and over again because each show has a beginning, middle, and end, and it's actually very cathartic. Whereas I struggle with streaming shows where, like, Peaky Blinders is a really good example for me. That's why I started with it, is because it's literally the revamping of the same situation. They just get older, but they do the same situation over and over again. They just, there's different characters bringing in the same stimuli. But there's a problem, it comes up, the family has struggles with it, the leader of the family kind of figures it out, and it resolves. There's a problem, the struggles come up, leader of the family figures it, resolved. And they keep doing it.
Sopranos, huh?
Well, Sopranos, I have a different issue with. Sopranos, my biggest problem is that show reset its conclusions over and over and over again. Because if the whole premise is based off of this is Tony's problem, right? So he starts seeing Dr. Melfi, and he works through these things once per season, but it never works out. He never changes his behaviors. He always reverts to regular Tony by episode 2 of the next season. I'm like, I've watched the same fucking show 7 times. Same the only thing is they change some things. They're like, oh, really?
You got a new big bad every time too.
Well, there's a same big bad for a while, and you're talking about the conflicts, and I'm not even going to talk about like the what do they call it, the it's the escalation, basically the spectacle creep, right?
Oh, right.
Famously seen in movies. 7, 8, 9 be the clearest examples of spectacle creep of like.
Fuck, Game of Thrones was the same way, man.
Yeah,
Evidently, but yeah, and that's a problem.
You watch the first season, it's like 5 guys with swords. You know, this is their army.
By the end, you're like, Jesus Christ.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yes, Michael Bay here? Like, yes, Michael Bay is here.
I don't know what to tell you. So when they go from like Death Star, but Death Star can shoot 5 things, and by episode 9 they say every one of these Star Destroyers, Death Star,
yeah,
was like, that's spectacle creep. You don't come back from that because if you're writing episode 10, how do you come back and say,
Oh god, that was so bad.
how do we downplay this? Oh wait, no. Now you exist in a universe where every ship can blow up a planet.
Yeah.
You couldn't pay me to write in that universe, and like, because this is where it terminates.
I like money. I'd do it.
Well, nobody
I don't think it'd be good, but
it would be dog shit.
Well, apparently it didn't have to be to begin with.
Yeah.
It's just
So-
garbage.
Yeah, anyway,
Nuke it.
that's
All ships are now like rowboats.
Well, now you just turn to Thanos with the glove, where it's like, everybody can like, kill you all. I mean, like,
then
Heck, it's gone.
now you have the problem I have with, this is multiverse time. Now anything that you did have no consequence because now we can. Well, he died in
had to
this
reset
universe.
it.
Oh, okay. Well, this is. Oh, well, this person came from this user and then went back in time, right? It's like,
Yeah.
so I swear, it is the creative bankruptcy, which is why I hate it so much. Which is why every 5 years, fucking comic companies, because they do this shit, they have to have an event where they say, no, we have to wipe it all out to 0.
yeah.
And they have to stop themselves from doing this shit. But then some asshole gets the green light from one of the editors, like, we need to bring this character back. How do we do that? Multiverse. We bring back the multiverse again. Fucking the worst. I hate it so much.
So looking forward to the multiverse.
Pisses me off so much.
Dying to see this.
Fucking worst.
You mean the Doctor Strange?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And the crazy multiverse or whatever
Oh,
it's
yeah.
called, yeah. Which
Multiverse
kind of like,
of
there's
Madness.
like, yeah, where they like a kind of honesty in the title. And it's like Multiverse of Madness, like, ooh,
Well,
like,
yeah.
we're fucking going all crazy now.
Buckle in and enjoy the ride.
Once you do it once and you
Yeah.
wipe it out afterwards. Say we can't have this continue to exist. We can't. It's a narrative fucking cop out, right? It's no, seriously. This is like when you let too much time travel happen into your shows, because that's all this is. This is just bullshit time travel. Okay, He's like, oh well,
You reset the timeline, so now it starts over here.
Dude. Why's Trek fucked up? Because they let them do. They said there's going to be this and the Kelvin timeline, and
See, now
they try to
I'll give them a little bit of a
reconcile
break on it because they've only done it once.
You can't keep it. You can't.
But I would say
Yeah.
I don't know if you watch Picard at all.
It sucks.
It's garbage.
Census.
It is. It's garbage. And I continually watch it because I want it to get better, but it's not.
Oh,
it's
no.
crap. But they've done the same thing with that, where they've gone back in time, and now he's meeting Guinan. Guinan doesn't know him, but they never knew him before. And it's like, well, now you're kind of fucking everything up.
No, and the whole purpose of this is to make lazy ass social statements on what they perceive as problems right now.
Oh no, it's complete wokeness.
It's embarrassing.
Well, I mean, it's funny because you had Star Trek Discovery, and like I watched it all through the magical tardigrade, and then they
Give up on that piece of shit.
God, it's so bad. But when they when they went through time to another time, and it was the Nazi universe, I'm like, all right, I'm done with that.
A Nazi universe?
No, literally, they went to the
actual
Nazi
Nazi
universe.
universe.
Like Nazis were in control. It was
We
completely
knew there
the
was a
same
Nazi
concept.
universe, and they decided to go there.
No, storyline to it. They were trying to like really amp up the magic tardigrade that hasn't like to disappear the ship and reappear in different spots, and he disappears them and freaks out into the Nazi universe.
It's fucking
and it was
metaphorical,
crap.
you know.
And then, but Picard does the same thing. Like, they bring back Q, who, in my mind, was actually one of the most fantastically cool fucking characters. And he snaps his fingers and he sends Picard to where? The Nazi universe. And I was like, this is the laziest fucking writing
It's the worst.
I've
It's
ever
absolutely
fucking
embarrassing.
seen. And it is. It's lazy, right? And then, of course, you have like, INS is in their immigration enforcement, how evil they are.
absolutely
And
true.
it's just like, Christ, it's a woke vomit show.
And
But it's also ruining the timeline for TNG, because now you have an alternate timeline, and people who used to know each other in different ways are now knowing each other in different ways, and it's like, well, now you're fucking it up.
And what's even worse, is this is a Star Wars problem, is you didn't do this on your own. You dragged already existing characters into a shittier future. So the whole thing is you put on their skin suits and they said, we're going to do this to get you to come, but we're not going to tell you the same stories in the same universe, right? It's like
You're actually going to completely throw it off.
yeah, it's the same thing as like, this is not the Picard. I'm not going to sit there and say, it's not my Picard. I'm going to start a campaign on this here. It's like take down my Gadsden flag and fucking put up, get it.
The shoe bolts.
Picard just like suddenly be like, I'm home.
Right, yeah. See, that would be ballsy writing. You say, wow, it's really nice in Nazi universe.
Oh my god! Like, now this is what I wanted.
That would take some stones. I would expect that. Like
That would have taken the same stones that would have taken for Rey in Star Wars to actually have joined with Kylo Ren to become
I know,
evil fucking
I know.
ruler.
And make their vision.
That would have been such an awesome movie, though.
That would have actually been taking that in a different direction, which I thought was the whole purpose.
That would have been sexy as fuck, man. That would have been like, damn, all right.
What are you guys gonna? I'm curious. What
Yeah,
in
what
the
are you
world
gonna do?
are you guys gonna do?
Oh yeah.
And there's a check. Here's the thing: is at least you took the risk, because like then you could say like, dude, episode 9 is lining up to either be like you're either gonna go 450 feet on this, or this is gonna be the biggest train wreck I've ever seen. I'm game for both. I'm game for both.
Exactly.
It's at least you tried. Where it's like, no, well, actually, this is like a super subversive movie. It's like, really? It's like, till we get to the part where there would be actual subversion, and then we're gonna dial it back and puss out.
Yeah, right.
It's like, but no, what we want you to do is I want you to think that, guys are assholes and they don't take orders from women. Like, but she's a bitch. She's not giving orders. She's not. She's just saying, like, your entire character arc is whether you are asshole or secret asshole. That's its whole character.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, she was like, this is the same movie where it's like she's a hero. I'm like, no, man, over there in the other scene, that little like 2 balls of a droid is actually moving a mech, right? So I know it can fly things, right? But no, she's flying this ship into a big ship. She's a hero. Like, robots will do that. You in your movie, robots are doing it. Actually doing it.
Well, like, no, you're getting to the point where it's like you don't have remote control. Where it's like,
Oh yeah. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
No,
Like,
I mean, I was.
Give
But,
him a pre-assessment.
now you're moving into like well, why were the shells
not-
arcing in
I know.
space? Like, well, there's the
You pointed that out to me.
why
I was like,
like, oh
oh,
yeah,
actually, Ryan's right about it. It's like a giant game of space battleship.
Oh, it was the same movie where they're like, so previously you have a bomber class of planes. It's like, yeah, it's like, so why do you have to have bombers? And now they're magnetic bombs. When you had bombs that you shoot and they go straight,
Right.
like these existed beforehand, and they even said like, well, we wanted to look like World War II.
Yeah,
footage.
exactly.
I'm like,
Why?
I'm not saying that fans should be like in charge of all the things. A lot of times they make terrible mistakes because that's how like you take an established franchise like, I don't know, like the X-Men, and suddenly there's a new character in the X-Men named Jeff, and he's like the best X-Men. Yeah, he's the best. He's like Wolverine with like 4 claws, right? So, but yeah, so you don't have to be fans because you do crap like that, but you have to be like, can you at least look at the source material before you dive in?
Yeah. I'm on it. Yeah, well, we talked about this before. I'm Star Wars strike for a while.
No.
Leave my fucking childhood alone. So stop
They-
poking my child.
they stripped it
places
for
where
porn.
it's
Gonna watch-
acceptable.
Well, see,
Obi-Wan?
and that's
No.
tough.
No.
No,
You won't even try?
no.
Man, Ewan McGregor's
That
so
looks pretty
good.
good.
Someone's got to tell me like 4
No,
years after
I
it drops
disagree.
that it's good.
You don't think it
I don't think it looks good. I think it looks like shit. But I like Ewan McGregor. I think what it looks like is a creepy old man staring at a fucking kid on the planet and not doing anything but just watching him from afar.
This is
Ooh,
Lucas
good
in my
point.
childhood.
Yeah.
In this same
And-
perfect metaphor.
Oh, that's
Stop saying
right.
my-
And I struggle because I mean, and I will get it. The Mandalorian was fucking awesome. The Mandalorian was a good
I
Star
haven't seen
Wars
the
show.
second season yet.
It didn't
You haven't?
overstep its reach.
No, it didn't overstep its reach. It knew exactly what it was, and it did it well. And then Boba Fett started off
File.
awesome. 3 episodes in, learning where he got, hanging out with the Banthas or the Sand People and the Banthas, fucking tits. Then he gets the Vespa gang, and he turns into the dorkiest fucking ruler on the planet, who has the military strategicness of like a 2-year-old invalid child.
You are being generous.
and it was like this, and then King Kong comes into play, and it's like this is trash. Like,
Wait, like
Boba
King,
Fett,
King Kong?
Like a rank.
because the Rancor literally climbs the tower and starts like
Oh my
wadding
god!
planes
get
out of
out.
yeah. It's fucking while he's riding the thing, it's horrible.
Oh my
It's
god!
trash. And it literally, John Favreau and them jumped the shark on it. And I know there's probably a pressure to like you don't want to like you don't want to do the Mando again. You don't want to do Mandalorian and then Boba Fett. Mandalorian didn't kind of stop.
Yeah, Mando was supposed to be Boba Fett, but they didn't have they
Right.
didn't go through with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the only good thing about the later seasons of Boba Fett was the Mandalorian, where
Yeah.
literally it was a Mandalorian episode where you follow the Mandalorian because he shows up and you follow him and leave Boba Fett alone. And no, they ruined it. They ruined Boba Fett, and it's just like you guys are jumping the shark on this.
Oh.
And so I get it, and I know they're going to do it with Ewan McGregor and Obi-Wan. And part of the problem I have with Obi-Wan though too is I don't know what story they can tell that's fascinating based on where he should fit in. He went and became a hermit to get the hell away.
Yeah.
So if all of a sudden he's going to be like fighting
Darth
tons
Vader
of
or
stormtroopers and shit, and doing the Force while he's protecting Luke over here, who has like apparently no idea what's going on. Like it's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be silly.
Yeah, because what do you do next? You tell the story of what's secretly going on in Bail Organa's house.
Oh yeah,
It's like,
oh yeah, no, and what the underworld of
why?
Tatooine.
who
And,
cares? I know.
Get off the fucking planet.
like when this dude just sat, he was just getting drunk in his like a stone hut way over there, and like everybody just knew him as Ben, the crazy old
Right. Right.
You know?
Like he eats weird shit. Like,
He's weird shit. He talks weird shit.
Yeah.
Sand
He
painting.
doesn't do anything. But he's going to turn into like the Batman of this. Like everybody thinks he's just crazy old Ben, but like when it gets dark out, he flies out and goes and fights the fucking Empire.
Huh.
no, he's that character
That is a
that's
good
who's
point.
been playing stupid the whole time, but it's actually really
Yeah,
clever.
exactly.
Right. I know. I ain't got no time. Again, my whole argument with Star Wars, my biggest problem is that you've had this is a big galaxy, but every story you tell makes it seem like there are 5 characters,
Yeah.
right, in this entire galaxy, and because you guys can't get over this, like, Episode 7 should have nothing to do with anything that even looked like a rebellion or an empire, right? Every
What's
step
episode
that
7?
Oh shit! Yeah, that's actually really good.
it should have.
Oh no, it would have been fantastic if it had to. Yeah.
Because the first thing that you have to do with that is that you have to discount all the cool things that Luke, Han, Chewie, and Leia did in the first movie
Yep.
and say, well, this all went to shit. How are you doing? Han, how are you doing? Well, I divorced my wife. I can't tell you about she hit me, I hit her, right? I told the cops came, I said she deserved it. So like we broke up, like my best friend tried to kill my nephew because he had a bad dream. Like that happened. So me and Chewie, like, I lost the Falcon. I don't know where. It's on a planet that just happens to be on this. I don't know where that planet is. So I'm like smuggling again, and I'm like 75. I was a general in this army, right? Like, so I had this sweet ass like contractor job afterwards.
Dude, this is a guy at the bar. I would have cut you off about 2 minutes.
No shit, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go take a piss, man.
You're like,
I'm gonna go over here now.
it's like that didn't happen to you. That was some movie, right? But that's me, man, and that's my life. And then I can't remember who said it. It's like, and then so how did you go out? It's like, well, my son killed me, threw me in the abyss, and then they blew up the abyss.
Which was a planet that could blow up
Right,
other planets.
right.
Okay.
That's just Han's story, right?
After sucking the energy of a star.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about like
Now it needs the whole energy from the star, not half energy.
Which means there would be no stuff. Never mind.
Yeah.
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 I'm not even talking about a world where it's so depressing the robots have PTSD. Fucking R2D2 won't even turn on. Am I wrong? Because it's just it's like,
Now you just brought up more shit. Why it makes it so bad?
they ruined everybody's lives. And again, somebody had to make
so
the decision
bad.
of we're coming back after this long. Yeah. So the fans really want Han, Leia, Luke, and Chewbacca to be on the Falcon like at least once. Maybe you have like a go out like heroes mission. And some asshole had to be like, no, I know that's what they want. Fuck them. Every last one of them.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I got a whole pile of letters here. Go fuck yourselves, right? We're not going to put them together. Luke doesn't even meet these people. He meets them via a bullshit phone call
Yeah.
sent through his brain at the end of the shittiest movie in the series, and he just kind of like, hey, what's up?
Oh
Right?
God, yeah, and then dies. Just
then dies, just
magically
poof.
dies. Like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
No, that was it for me.
Does anybody go out like a stud?
Jesus.
No. The only one they were trying to have go out like a stud was Carrie Fisher, and her body actually expired before they could do that and make her into this hero that nobody wanted. Like, she's now the senator where she talks like this now.
Oh God. Oh, man.
We need to write down Jeff's Star Wars.
Oh no, we can't.
This is pretty epic.
This is great.
Like, just
It just sucks because you're pointing out even more stuff for me that I'm like, this is just so bad.
they just moved the corpses of characters I liked. You know, it's
Oh, God,
Weekend at
that's so
Bernie's
bad.
all my like the characters that I liked, and they
Fucking
turn their
horrible.
lives to shit.
Oh,
And-
it's so bad.
Nobody worth a damn actually picked up the mantle. It's like, oh, you're just great at everything, aren't you?
Oh, man.
Fucking you guys. This chick she rolled like natural 18.
Well, she's a Mary Sue, though, right?
Oh yeah,
Isn't that what it's called, Mary Sue?
yeah,
The perfect character. Yeah.
absolutely perfect.
Not even remotely interesting.
Not in the slightest.
No.
no,
No.
no. And her mouth just she's got like she's making that like sideways letter D with her face all.
Oh yeah.
That's her entire expression. That acting. So bad.
Has she done anything else?
No.
No, she's been in some shit,
Has
but
she?
like
No. She's not.
a note.
She's kind of done.
I think she got her. She got her Hayden Christensen money.
Well, the fact of the matter is, she was like super rich before this even started.
And that's another reason I'm not excited
Because
about
he's in
fucking
it.
he's in that. Like,
Hayden
dude, he's a
Christensen's coming back?
terrible fucking
He could
actor.
be an Obi-Wan.
Yeah, he's gonna be Vader.
Yeah.
Well, I thought they were not supposed to meet for 20 years. Right. Okay.
That's a good question. Yeah,
I know that's
But he's in it. They brought him back. Hayden Christensen's there,
He's in the previews.
and apparently he does interact with. Because I actually read something that said it ruins when they meet in episode 4.
Right.
When they meet, where it's like, I haven't seen you for fucking ever.
Yeah.
It ruins that because at some point they meet again.
right.
Maybe he shoves his ass into a bigger volcano.
I have no idea.
He conveniently forgot.
Okay, see that has the grounds to be funny. So if it turns around, he's like, "You're gonna learn today, boy."
Yeah,
right? That's yeah.
You know, when you ever read
Yeah, I can see that.
I
it'll
don't
be
think
a
about how
green
much it
volcano.
ruins everything else. In the,
Well,
like you should have rules of what you can and can't do. And
Dude,
Yeah.
they've gotten so far away from the original 3 movies on all attempts. So
like it doesn't provide cool backstories that make sense. They're just like,
the only one that kind of
Really
fits in
cool
there
fights.
is Rogue One, and then maybe Solo. So
okay, so and I don't. Again, Rogue One's my favorite one of
Yeah.
everything of the modern era. And again, there are some people that'll sit there and say like, all right, well, it stepped on this, but not that much. Okay.
no, it tread pretty lightly around those things.
In fact, the people that complain the most were like, doesn't that step on Kyle Katarn's thing? And you know what? That's fine.
That's fine.
That's
Kyle Katarn.
So
He's a guy from a video game.
years ago, well, you're not going to believe this, but years and years and years ago, there was a time where people were desperate for Star Wars content, right?
Yeah.
And your only outlets were the few comics that came out a year from Dark Horse, and usually they would tell the individual stories of one red guy that worked for the Emperor.
Yeah.
Okay. You had the quote unquote series 7, 8, and 9,
Timothy.
Dark Apprentice,
Yep.
the
Timothy Zahn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then you had computer games.
and then you had computer games.
Well, there was an RPG that you could play too.
Yeah,
An
that
actual
was,
book RPG.
that was as non-canon as it got.
Yeah. So, but that's how desperate people were for Star. I made a fucking game myself. Okay, because I was desperate for Star Wars. Yeah, it worked very
Good time
good.
with it.
You know, but like just because you're so desperate for Star Wars content, this is like 94, 95-ish.
And a little bit before because
Yeah.
I was playing like Rebel Assault, the fucking
Yeah.
full motion video game,
Oh yeah,
and
what was the Shadows of the Empire
yep,
with the train level?
with the train level.
Every bad game, every good game's got a bad train level.
It's told the story. Well, evidently the antics of Dash Rendar are
Dash
still
Rendar.
supposed to be still supposed to be a thing. That's still supposed to be canon. I don't know, but yeah, back then. So from Dark Forces, the whole point of the game was to get the Death Star plans.
Yeah,
Where are they?
in the first level.
And where do you have to retrieve them from? Who has them?
Oh, IG-88.
Absolutely right. That was
You have
your
to cut his head off and use the disc in his head. You know, here you go. Here's your Death Star plans.
and who was the big boss of that game?
Some dude they made up, who invented like robot stormtroopers. Yeah, so it was like completely like the only thing like from 1992 that was Star Wars related out there. It was actually made by LucasArts.
They all were. They all had to get permission at the time.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, like Rogue One, the only thing it stepped on was that one fucking game that not that many people played. You know?
okay.
They played the sequels, so
Everybody
so
played
that-
the sequel because they gave you a glowy stick.
and that's exactly where Pat and I were like, done. We're
Done,
out.
we're out.
We're out.
Yeah.
Because every other game is just like this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it was like, yeah, I'll shoot Luke if I see him.
It's funny because there's that moment in episode. I don't even like episode 4. It's boring now, right?
Well, the first one?
Yeah, but there is that moment where that's a presence I haven't felt, and he just stops and leaves. And there's this that's like the greatest moment in the movie. He's like, motherfucker.
Yeah, that motherfucker's around here somewhere.
It's like, that is not on my shit. And it wasn't, so you can say what you want to about the sequels, and they finally leveled off. They said, like, why are you so mad? It's like, well, you cut off the last 3 of his limbs. You left the one that was already fucked up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You left the one that was cut off by the other guy. Yep. The dude saying, I hate you. Then you didn't kill him. You left, and you walked off with his lightsaber.
Well, he got barbecued.
So when you're that guy and that dude comes up on your ship, it's like, oh no. Okay, that's great. Now, if they've been arm wrestling in between here like 5 times, and fucking Darth Vader is like standing on the thing, and he's like, oh, he's like Dr. Claw. He's like, oh
my God.
right, you know.
Well, and that was what was fantastic. That what Rogue One did so freaking well was at the end of Rogue One, where it finally shows you just how scary and badass Darth Vader actually could be.
It's just,
But like in episode 4, like he catches up to the ship and he is pissed off. Like, he is angry as fuck. He's pissed at Leia, he's pissed at everybody, and you're like, I don't know why you're so pissed off. But then you watch Rogue One, you're like, I totally get there. Yeah, you just took off in front. You're like, I just caught up to you, and you're telling me like, you don't fuck you, I'm gonna fuck you.
it's just lying through her teeth, like she's fucking like got Cheeto dust all over.
Like I haven't eaten anything. Yeah, no, fuck you.
One more time. This is your last chance to know. Why does it roll the planets? Because of that.
But it's all the wrong gun. There you go.
Yeah, take her away.
Well, good luck when you get to see what happens. Yeah.
It's so funny though, like 2 different movies and 2 different times to really explain why Darth Vader was so fucking pissed off at him the other time. Like, that motherfucker's on my ship. Fuck him. It's like, why is he so angry? It's like, you just fucked up everything prior to that.
When's Obi-Wan supposed to come out?
I think
Real soon, isn't it? May or
I
June?
think Moon Knight finishes in 3 weeks, and then I think it comes out.
What
Friday.
finished?
How is that? Have you been watching that?
I've watched the first 3.
What?
Moon Knight? It's a Marvel movie or Marvel show.
With Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's everything has this fucking Star Wars AIDS in it.
It's really odd. I still don't even know if he shows it. I'm like,
Odd good? Or like you're interested to see where it
I
goes? Or
don't
like,
know if it's good or if I'm watching a car.
okay, I can like that.
I have no
Wow,
idea.
is it like you don't know if it's a 10 or a 1
I
kind of
have
thing?
no idea.
Actually, that makes me interested.
No shit, that really does too, yeah.
It's so odd. Some of it's really cool. Some of it, I'm like, really? You're doing that? And then I'm like, okay, are you leading to something really good, or is this just going to be?
Yeah.
I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah, I think the last show that I saw that I couldn't make up my mind how much I liked it until after I watched the entire season was Better Call Saul. The first season it was kind of like, man, I really want to like this, but it's kind of slow. But then by the end of it, you're like, this show is fucking good.
It's superior. I'm not saying that they made a bad product. It's just that they learned from their previous work. And I was like, this is masterfully told.
Well, the last season should be coming out here pretty
Yeah,
soon.
I think it's Monday.
Oh, it's that fast? Well, I don't have.
Oh, you don't have AMC.
I don't.
You
Well,
have cable.
This way.
yeah, actually, I do. I still have my YouTube TV. I'll have to get it to scrape it off there for me. So, but it's been 2 years since the last season because they did the COVID break. So.
Well, he had a heart attack too, didn't he?
That happened while he was filming this season. So,
Was that what it was? Okay.
yeah, no, they had a little.
Yeah, like Bob
break in there.
Odenkirk actually had a heart attack.
He
on
actually had a heart
set.
attack.
Like,
Yeah, and so, and that was after he filmed that other fucking movie. What was it?
Where he's a badass.
Oh,
thing.
that movie was great.
That movie's fun.
I haven't seen that.
No, it was
What is it?
great.
Broken?
It's
No.
like, yeah, I can't remember. It's
Nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a badass just fighting everybody, or
Yeah, he just fights people.
really?
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
well, it's
he's like Liam Neeson.
He's got Russians, you know.
He's got a particular set of skills. I have
no,
a
it's
particular
That's
set
what the
of
preview
skills.
looked like.
Yeah.
You ever seen Seth MacFarlane do that? Like,
No.
he'll do Kermit the Frog's voice. So he's on Graham Norton, and they asked him to do it, and quote do the little soliloquy of like Liam Neeson in Taken with Kermit the Frog's voice. He's like, I have a particular set of skills. Yes, exactly.
yeah, but at least in Nobody, that movie didn't pretend to be anything it wasn't.
No.
It didn't.
It was like John Wick, man.
It didn't have shit to say. It didn't. You know.
Russians are bad.
You say
so-
Johnny Mnemonic?
John Wick.
Oh, John Wick.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I've seen
Ironically, same thing.
Yeah. Oh,
guy,
yeah.
yeah.
That guy. Yeah.
John Wick gets absurd. It's It's still good for the things that you see it for, but there's just like, how many assassins are in this world, and what do they
Yeah,
want you?
it's like, can you all go to the same hotel? What the fuck, man?
There was-
I start to struggle with John Wick from just a cultural point of view or like societal point of view, where it's like, are we all just watching this to justify watching people get killed?
we absolutely are.
Yeah, no, you're dead on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it just has somebody in it that we all admit isn't a great actor, but we just like to like the guy.
Well, he's
That's
a
true.
really likable dude.
See, completely.
I mean, the
Yeah.
guy, the Keanu Reeves is fucking badass motherfucker, dude.
Dog shit actor though.
Yeah.
Dog shit actor.
The best quote was when he did way back in the day when they still used actual film, and I forgot what comedian was that did it, but he did the joke of it. He's like, my acting is so bad it doesn't stick to the emulsion. And it's like, yeah, you're terrible. Bio con Dios.
Oh my god, that's
So
point. I love
bad.
that movie so much though.
Such a fucking great flick, man. Remake, wickedly
Dude,
terrible.
oh my
Oh,
God.
the most recent one, was it?
The Point Break remake. Have you seen that?
No.
It is so bad.
Oh.
Like I would watch Last Jedi over and over again.
Yeah, and I said I'd pound nails in my own dick before I watched that movie.
Which means
Yeah, and I agree. Yeah, I mean, New Point Break was fucking awful.
That had no business being made.
Nah.
You know what? Point Break, to its credit, had a message. It did. Like whether or not you agreed with Patrick Swayze,
Oh yeah.
there was
No,
something
actually,
to that.
no, it really did. Actually,
It's a movie. It's a movie that warrants the cop throwing his badge in the water at the end of the movie,
Right.
because he can't reconcile these two things. That's a movie, right? Now in Star Trek, right? There's no like badge throwing.
Trek.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
there's no badge throwing in there. They're just like, man, what is the fucking line where she's like,
which Star Trek, man? There's
no, the
out there.
Picard, where
Okay.
where there's no debating the merits of either argument. It's just, man, I can't believe they're locking kids in cages.
Oh yeah.
Like, what sort of humans would do this?
Star Trek's always kind of had that. Oh, those fucking people in the 20th century or the 21st, or
Well,
21st
no,
century.
that's
Yes and
true.
no.
That's
Yeah,
true.
You're right. There's part of that, but they usually,
But it
it's
was-
usually funny.
Well, and it was
Sometimes it was not funny in DS9.
Well,
So yeah.
but-
well, actually,
it's
it is.
Oh,
No.
all those fighting words.
No, that was funny because you probably see Avery Brooks's worst overacting in that episode.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like he calms it way down later on, but in that episode, man, he's at like 15,
It's
and it's
terrible.
hilarious.
Which,
Well, the only thing that's worse is the other guy. So
Oh, Bashir?
no, yeah,
No,
it
don't
was
pick on
Bashir. Who,
Bashir,
no, I'm
he's-
not picking on Bashir. The other guy in the series who was actually the leader of that initial rebellion.
The Maquis?
The Maquis, yes. You remember that?
Eddington.
Eddington.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, no. Okay, no, not him. You're talking about the other black guy.
The other black guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
I don't-
like it was. I don't know who he is, but it was
I
like
don't know either, but
yeah. So he was emulating that guy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
they wrangled him up from, I don't know what gas station they got him from, but he is the worst.
I'm guessing it was like, actually, he came from like stage theater and he thought he was playing Othello still, you know?
Could be. There's that. Like, if you're talking about like do full vaudeville, okay, I get it.
Might have been, yeah.
But frankly, that one's a little bit more like, well, where they go to Avery Brooks, like, we need a black guy. You're a black guy. Do you know another black guy?
do you have any friends?
It's like, yeah, but he doesn't act.
Yes, I do. Yeah, but they're always good at punching down on like anything in the modern time. You know,
They do. I mean, they're definitely more like morally righteous in TNG, and honestly, TNG. A lot of the episodes dealt with issues,
Well,
mean,
of course.
but much more subtly and much more honestly balanced. Like, they got a little extreme towards the end, when it came to issues, but
I thought they were worse in the beginning.
Yeah, I thought they were worse.
I thought they.
Yeah.
I do. Well, yeah, I do, because that's where, again, that's like those weird, like, Wesley Crusher, dumb, you know, we're going to execute him, you know, shit came from, and...
yeah, but what's the issue? What's the issue they're dealing with there?
Well, number one, capital punishment. Number two is...
Right.
I mean, that's the obvious one. It's like, okay, does this...
But I mean, are they really dealing with capital punishment in all that broad of a stroke? Because they're employing it against something that's clearly unnecessary for capital punishment.
Well, of course. No, it's I get it. They're like, yeah, I know. They sell, like, fucking, you know, pizza slices down there at Come and Go, but if you rip one off, they shouldn't kill you.
Right.
But this is the same thing. It's like you trampled the flowers. But yeah, so if you want to take a look at this and say, like, what we're really mocking is Islam, okay, I get that. Where it's like, you know, you broke the rules, you know, so... And of course, whether or not you respect the sovereignty
and I guess,
of another...
Well, and the way I always saw that episode, maybe I'm wrong on it, was the puritanicalness of actual, like, criminal enforcement. Was you can make a perfect society if everybody is scared to commit even the wrong thing because you'll be put to death.
It might work.
Like the idea, no, but it's the diametric.
That's okay.
It's the diametric pose. Like, it's the concept of, like, why Saddam Hussein was better than not Saddam Hussein. And it's like, well, do you think Saddam Hussein was a good man? Like, no, not at all. But he was so bad, I didn't have to worry about terrorism. Like, because not a single terrorist existed in Iraq because he'd have them killed. And so, to me, that was the same concept, where you can have this amazingly wonderful, peaceful society where everybody's super happy and all great because there's literally no crime, because if you do one thing wrong, you will die. You'll be killed.
Okay, see this thing we're doing?
Yeah.
That is a dog shit episode, and we're still having this discussion. That means it's better.
I don't think it's the dog shit as you thought it was. I think it was corny. But I still think what it was trying for, at least the way I read it, it might not be what they were actually aiming for. The way I read it was like, oh, that's actually kind of interesting. You're talking about this, like, completely, like, wonderful society, nothing goes wrong, because if you do one thing wrong, we'll kill you.
Okay. The problem I have, and I totally understand what you're saying. The problem I have is all of those things are very interesting, but the presentation counts.
Oh, it does. I know.
And this is where it funnels off from, like, genius to poop, because like
presentation was shit.
yeah,
Star Wars level.
whereas
No, it doesn't. Because I'll watch that without pounding nails in my dick, man.
whereas, you know, if you're going to ask me to turn around and say, like, all right, so what are they debating in this? Well, they're debating torture, the efficacy. So they're talking about the ways that you command a ship. They are talking about the, you know, if I go to chain of command, they're saying, like, do people have different values when it comes to being a captain? Like, do same sort of things. Yet at the same time, Jellicoe is the only one that actually straightens out the Kardashians for the assholes that they are. Says, "I will kill you."
No, he's
Give me
actually
back my captain.
his unstableness actually throws the Kardashians off and actually works.
The Kardashians.
That's what
We've all,
we've all.
Sorry,
I thought you just brought it back to the real world.
Kardashians.
Oh,
Yes.
wait.
I've always called them,
Kardashian.
Kardashians.
That's pretty funny now.
but they try to paint him out to be the bad guy. But if you look at it, it's like, well, you're mad just because, like, he's yelling at Will Riker. But I've wanted to yell at Will Riker for a long time.
Sure.
That dude's, like, way too full of himself.
Since I met him.
Yeah, I know. Like, that dude always takes, like, the corner piece of cake. Like, it's like
Yeah, he's
No.
he's stepping the line for everybody else.
But before
Yeah.
ruining it, right? I mean, he just straight up, like, and they haven't even served it yet. He just comes as like,
That's mine.
This is mine.
it's like,
Well, no, yeah, it's like, you know how they cut pieces from one end to the other. Somebody else grabs the other two corners. He'll go cut a third thing. And then pick up the other ones.
but this is before anybody's been served.
He just grabs the first one.
Yeah, and he tells you the obvious. It's like, why would you do this? It's not your birthday. And he's like, well, I always want the one with the most frosting.
Right.
You know, so fuck him. And so, yeah, Jellicoe's like, okay, don't do that. And then he turns to Troy, he's like, stop dressing like a stripper. And then, people are like, all right, well,
Not necessarily dressed like a stripper, but like get in a uniform like everybody else. For Christ's sake, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
It's like pajamas.
I know. It's like, why do you need a counselor's action leotard?
Right.
What exactly?
No, just go put on a uniform.
Yeah.
It's like a combat film.
Yeah, which honestly I liked about it because after that, every show after that, she was just wearing a uniform. And it was like, yeah, no, that's right.
So, oh yeah, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so
But that's the thing. They presented him as like he's not. You don't like him, but at the end of the day, you're like, I get what he was going for. I know where he was coming from.
yeah, and ultimately he solves.
And they do that. I mean, what the episode where Worf like goes paralyzed and like he wants Riker to kill him.
Kill him. Yeah, Jeff and I have discussed that many times.
What's that?
Riker should have fucking killed him because he asked. Because he again, Mr. Riker.
Wait. But you
Anything for you, anything. I'm here to do whatever you need.
right.
Cool, Murray.
Do this. I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. Yeah. But no, but I mean, but if he does, and that ruins the whole debate of it.
Course,
And he goes to like Captain Picard. Picard's like, you might not like, but it's his culture. This is what he thinks.
Right.
And he's trying to bring you into that. And to me, that it's bringing on a nuance. It's
Of course, yeah.
and it's not. And what's great about it is not posting either side as necessarily right, saying this is clearly right. Because what you would watch with shows now, one's clearly morally right, and one's clearly morally evil. As opposed to like, no, there's actually justification for this position, and there's justification for this position.
Right.
And it's how do you weigh it? How does that come out? And that more nuanced thinking and more nuanced application to things is fantastic compared to what we have now. Because now in society, it's like, I'm right. And if you think differently than me, you're not only wrong, you're evil, you're terrible, you're disgusting, you need to be destroyed.
And we can't get 7 episodes out of this.
No, right?
Well, of course, and the lack of subtlety, of course, is like in modern Star Trek. I mean, remember the Klingons? It's just like, okay, like, so these people have thoughts that we don't like. It's like they come from a planet and they're called Trumplicans. Like, they did it. They changed the Klingons to be like Trump supporters.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't.
Did they?
No, they didn't change the planet where they come. It's still Kronos, not the Kronos I know.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, it's still like they gave them extreme right views.
Yeah.
What is this in Picard? I haven't seen
No,
it.
in Discovery.
Oh, in Discovery.
Did they actually call him Trump?
No, because that would have
That was just too obvious.
that would at least been funny. I'm like, all right, so I know not to take your shit seriously. I won't get butthurt.
Did you ever watch The Orville?
Only like an episode or two. I never got into it.
Okay.
I heard it was awesome, but I just never. It would have been better if I watched it from the beginning.
It was really good and then really shitty at times too.
That all starts.
They had the Upvote Society, which was fantastic, where everybody's whether somebody's put to death or not was based on how many upvotes there were and how popular were they.
many
It was
likes
like
you
social,
get.
yeah, it really was. It was, and then you had like when you were under likes, you were like given your like TV show to go on and profess to the world why you should be forgiven or whatever. And if you got enough upvotes, you then were like saved. That was a brilliant show. But they had the the Borgons or whatever is on the ship, and it's like clearly like wrong on so many issues. It's like, oh yeah, you guys are just completely moron back of the woods. And it's like, yeah, you're wrong. And it's like, and it basically condemned the whole culture. Like everything you do is wrong.
We believe in trade protectionism.
Yeah.
Why isn't your currency backed with precious metals?
Right, yeah. Why are you teaching children of the age of 6 about sexual intercourse?
Oh my god.
But we start getting into like storytelling, where the storytelling is you have such a diametric or dichotomous positions versus nuanced positions, which is much more interesting.
Well, I mean, that's not even dichotomous because they don't leave you any room to actually empathize with this side.
No, yeah, you're right, yeah.
So you don't get into like, well, board culture is really good for children from the age of 6 to 9.
Right.
There's no room for that.
No,
in
and
those interpretations.
And it's a nuance that's fun. The nuance is interesting. The black and white and binary is boring.
Every now and then you need a bad guy. Every now and then,
No, you do.
like Khan Noonien was never right. He's just really goddamn entertaining.
Who?
Khan
Noonien
Noonien.
Singh.
Yeah, but he's not. He's not even Darth Vader. Like, you still know where Khan's coming from.
Yeah.
You go, like, oh, okay, I get where you're.
get where you're
Like, I know, like you know he's wrong. Like, how you're responding to it, you're wrong.
Yes.
But you're also like, oh, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
We understand.
And that's the nuance I'm even talking about. So even giving the villain, like, he's clearly the villain, but you're giving the villain more depth and more nuance, where he's not just like, I like being evil and killing people. You know,
I miss those guys sometimes. It's just what I do, just please once just tell me who the bad guy is and why I shouldn't,
Now,
why should I root for everybody else?
You're talking about, you're justifying the existence of Cobra in G.I. Joe because
Exactly.
those guys didn't have just motives.
I know.
Remember,
And Destro, just because he deals with that side, is obviously a bad guy.
well, yes, of course. Well, on top of that, I mean, they tried everything.
Sure.
They formed a rock band called Cold Slither.
I recall.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
I do not remember that.
Trying to poison the youth of America, William.
With
Oh
heavy
my
metal music,
God,
with
heavy metal.
subliminal
so fucking funny.
messages in heavy metal music.
Right, yeah. So, with very slow frame rates.
I think I've said this before. They animated on the fives.
Yeah, that's correct. All right, we're at $1.40.
Okay. Well, are there final thoughts here? Because we had a lot of
You wanted
William's actually been working, so.
to ask
Like,
William about
yeah.
football.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What about?
You want to do a football update?
Well, that's the thing. We didn't know if there's any football news, so is there any football news?
Derek Carr got a big contract, so Russell Wilson will probably get a big contract whenever ownership comes through.
What's the story with Denver's ownership?
It's going to happen. They finally cleared everything. All
Okay.
the
Who's going to own the team?
Is it
Please
the
tell me it's
Walton?
not Jeff Bezos.
No, it's the Walton.
It sounds like Bezos wants the Washington
The
Commanders whenever they kick Daniel Snyder out of the
Kidding.
No,
Yeah.
isn't
Back
it
to their
Kevin
proper
Walton or
natural
whatever,
state,
the Walton guy,
I
the
think that's
Cronky's
the lead
brother-in-law.
kind of thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be $5 billion, so whatever.
Yeah, that's pocket change. He's shaking out his couch cushions, man.
Right.
You just see what some dumbass is going to pay for Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no shit, right? Like,
Freaking team.
I could have a football team for $4
football
billion,
teams,
or I could have Twitter for 40. Fuck that! I'm
Yeah,
buying the
no
Broncos in
kidding.
a heartbeat. Oh my god, boy, did you just put that into perspective?
God, he should have bought the Denver Broncos, renamed to the Denver 420s.
Oh my god!
Oh my God, you know he would.
Big X on the helmet.
Yeah.
Jesus. Like, what do you do? What do you? Yeah, I mean, you're the owner, so I mean, you just buy the whole thing. So it's like, we're broadcasting live from fuck Twitter Stadium, and
Because he would have enough money to buy the fucking naming rights on the
Oh, yeah.
stadium.
He wouldn't care about anything.
It wouldn't have to be in Power Field or anything stupid like that.
I'm still calling it Invesco.
Yeah, me too.
It's not Invesco. God, it
It's
wasn't
in Power.
Invesco. I mean, hell, Sports Authority was after Invesco.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Well, and
about
there was a
that.
while where it was just
Mile High.
Mile High.
That's
yeah.
what it was.
And then it was Invesco at Mile High.
No.
No. Invesco was the first one.
Yeah.
It was
So
actually
that was the first
It was
name.
Invesco with
And
that.
then there was Sports Authority, and then Sports Authority went bankrupt, and then the pot company paid, and they're like, no. So then for like a year, it was just Mile High.
High.
They were like, we're not going to do that, and then
Okay.
and then Empower came along,
Yeah.
and they gave it to Empower.
Yeah. All right. So no other football news.
Nothing crazy. Nothing right now. Unless you want Sammy Watkins signed with the Packers. I mean,
Okay.
there's nothing else going on right now.
Not
So
interesting.
Well,
yeah,
Rockies are leading the division.
they
Yeah.
are.
That means we're fucked. Lee.
Actually, that's actually was pretty funny though, because so Stan Kroenke went and bought the Rams. And so if you're an NFL owner, you can't own any other professional sports team. So he had to divest himself from the Nuggets and the Avalanche. So of course he divested himself to his wife. His wife.
Oh, this is obvious. Yeah.
His wife is a Walton, who's related to the Kevin Walton.
I don't know.
I can't remember his name. The Walton who's putting the $4 billion down for the Broncos.
Jesus.
So at the end of the day, all sports teams in Colorado, except for the Rockies, are probably going to be owned by the Waltons. And I'm like, well, maybe the Montforts will sell the Waltons and the Rockies will be good at some point.
All right.
All right, I'm on board with this theory. Yeah, I'm on board with this conspiracy theory.
Oh man,
So-
got on a bit Game of Thronesy with the.
I'm good with it.
Hey, man, Waltons can run Westeros as long as the Montforts are exiled to an
Yep.
island.
Right.
Yep. Rid of them.
Yeah. So
Did they get the trains through on time?
No, seriously, how are the Rockies doing this year?
they're doing fine. It's just way too early in the season to
Oh,
tell,
yeah.
man. So, but I was listening to people on the radio. Oh, the Rockies look great this year. I'm like, give it 2 weeks.
You're
guys.
right.
They're not
Give it
long
2
for
weeks.
this.
They always look great for a section of the year.
They always look great for a section of the year. Usually you have to wait till late May to see it. So then it's coming around in mid-April at this point in time. It just means it's going to be a long fucking season.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes they start doing well at that almost end of the section of the year.
Yeah.
And if they hung in there long enough, they'll make the playoffs.
That happened twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said sometimes.
Sometimes.
I do have to say though, I am really disappointed this year. This is like the best Avalanche team that will probably ever exist.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Watching
haven't
this
been able to watch a single game.
It's been
Oh.
absolutely thrilling.
Those
God,
two
great.
Do you have
He pirates it all.
Are you pirate at all?
I don't get to see it either.
I can't see it all. They're fucking amazing and I can't watch them.
Although it does come on TNT every now and then, which
Yeah,
is crazy.
last game.
Yeah,
was-
but there's like 7 games that are either TNT, ESPN, or like NHL Network.
Well, what's worse is with the Nuggets, if it's on NBA TV,
Yeah.
that's blacked out.
Oh, lame.
It's only ESPN and TNT that they're allowed to show the
game.
national game, even though NBA TV isn't
That's so painful.
national network. It's dumb.
I mean, I'm excited for the playoffs because we'll get a
They'll be on.
fine to see the
You'd be a
playoffs.
seal
But I'm like, I wanted to watch these games. They're fucking amazing.
They're awesome.
And I can't
These
watch
last
them.
2 seasons have been fantastic.
No, dude, last year was irritating now because it was like, oh, they should have done better than they did. This year they were just smoking everybody.
yeah.
when do the playoffs start?
A couple of weeks.
2 weeks.
They're a
Yeah.
couple weeks out? All right.
Yeah, I mean, they were the first team to qualify for the playoffs because they're fucking badass.
Great.
God, they're so good.
Well, we'll have stuff to talk about then if there's no news on the football front. The
Draft is
Rockies
coming
will
up.
suck by then.
but-
That's my call.
That's a great closing statement right there.
If not, we'll give another week.
Could you say that again?
The draft will be coming up, but Broncos don't pick until the end of the second round. So
No, they got an extra pick, right? They had,
that they just
they
found.
told them they had 8, and
Yeah.
they're like, no, wait, we have 9.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
The
that
GM
can
the
happen.
GM's like, we have 9. And they're like, no, you're crazy. Oh yeah, you guys did do a trade. Not bad.
Wow.
It would be so funny if like ESPN didn't know. And so
The NFL didn't.
no, that's what I'm saying is, like when the Broncos come up and it's the other team's pick, and they just jump in and say like, why are you on the podium? It's like, because we're picking again.
Yeah, I got to
Look it
take
up.
it. Yeah.
You already played 24.
No, I got to take it. Man. Yeah.
I drew 2.
I found it in the car.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
All right, that's good.
I brought like 24 cases of Diet Coke, and you get that.
Yeah.
I sent in the UPC codes.
Right, yeah. I actually took time to cut these fuckers out.
Yeah.
Give me my pick.
I get a second round pick. And a good one.
Yeah.
That was funny. All right, cool.
All right, I'm Pat.
I will.
I'm Jeffrey.
I'm Ryan.
Hitting the button.